What's going on, everybody? This is Michael Stewart Isaacs,
And this is Shemekka and
and this is your next edition of
Sunday
Sunday Stacks.
Stacks.
Yes, Sunday Stacks is back, and we are excited as we just got done wrapping up the Thanksgiving holiday and getting ready for so much new fun in the month of
Yes.
December coming up. So we want to just shout you all out there in the
We're thankful for you.
Thankful to you all. Thank you for being a listener of Sunday Stacks. We are always grateful to have you here, and we're always grateful to be alive. Yes, we're here on the Alive Podcast Network. Yes, Sunday Stacks, making sure week for week that your life is stacking up. And we always like to focus on family, community,
Community
and
and
company. And
company.
of course, this is that time of the year, most importantly, to focus on family. And yes, Thanksgiving was right here. And as we always start each episode, Shemekka, how's it stacking for you?
Ooh, this week was really good for me because this is a week in a month where it's a plan and pivot week for me. So I block off my scheduling calendar and use this time to recenter myself, kind of work through some of my plans. So I was stacking this week, looking ahead into 2025, wrapping up things, closing out. We had our leadership empowerment group that's closing out. Um, our next meeting is actually tomorrow, December 1st. So we're excited and grateful. We had a really good, strong year with the Leadership Empowerment Group. A lot of milestones met, a lot of challenges overcome. And this week, we are walking into a stacking it hard with a DC trip coming up with our partnership with the Global Black Women's Chamber of Commerce to visit in DC in the press room for the State of Black Women Summit. So I'm excited about that. A lot of focus on my mind with that and what we're doing to lift up the voices that I'm connected to through entrepreneurship, health equity, racial equity, leadership development. I am connected to a lot of Black women. So I definitely know that we have a lot to say and thinking about what we're going to do, where we are, and what we're doing, planning ahead and strategizing, I think is a very good power move. So that's what I spent this past week before we shut things down was all around planning and pivoting, focusing and recentering as we get ready for the start of our new year. But how's it stacking for you? What has it been like for you?
It has been a phenomenal week of just getting my mind right and just like you said, just taking time to plan and really get ready for the new year. I always like to start my New Year's on December 1st. For those out there who don't know, I start my New Year's every year on December 1st to make sure that the resolutions that I say I want to take into 2025 or whatever the next year is going to be, I always like to get a head start for a full month to actually put those resolutions to test, even just the things we call a plan. We like to think through all the different elements of what's possible and what we need to do, play out scenarios. So the first month of December, being a new year for me allows for me just to get myself in that position.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yes, we are here. Yes, December 1st. We're excited. So happy New Year to all of you out there that want to take on this motto and this
It's
mindset.
practice. Practice all those resolutions you intend on going forth in 2025. Practice for the next 31 days.
Yes, and so this week too just was a phenomenal time, just getting a chance to hang out with family. Yes, with the Thanksgiving
Hmm.
holiday, had a lot of relatives either coming into town, we were going out of town. I think we had what we call our Thanksgiving Day tour. We were able to kind of go from different family members. Like this year, y'all, we had to really think to ourselves, what are we going to do during this Thanksgiving holiday? Are we going to stay home? Are we going to go to a particular relative's house? And we couldn't make up our mind. So we ended up having Friendsgivings, our own Thanksgiving kind of dinner celebration at our house. Then we went to go see Shemekka's family. Then we came back and we went and saw my family. I was able to see family members I haven't saw in a while. Got to see some of my nieces, my sisters. So it was just an amazing time just to really connect and really, Thanksgiving is one of those moments where it's a little different from other holidays because yes, the food tends to be what we center everything on, but sometimes it is the uniquest holiday where you really get to bond with family like no other holiday, at least in my opinion. Other people may beg to differ, but I really like Thanksgiving for how it brings family together around food, but just really making it more about the family and that gathering. What were your thoughts on the holiday this week?
I felt really strongly about trying to decide this very important question, and I would love to hear your input on it. But what is the age when you stop traveling and going to people's houses and you are the one that's cooking? Like, is there a magical age for that when you're the house that people come to and you're not traveling? I know for me, my first stage of adulting was stop trying to go into town and visit 15, 1100 people in one day, because you're that one person trying to see everybody, but more so grounding myself in one location and coordinating for people to come see me in that one spot.
Right, right.
So yes, listeners, I want to hear from you. What's the magical age? Like, what's the age of shift when you no longer are the one going to someone's house for Thanksgiving, but you are the one that is cooking? Does that happen? Does it always fall on the matriarch of the family? Like, what is it for you? What are your traditions around who gets to decide who's hosting holiday meals together?
I think sometimes it falls down, like it comes down to who has the bigger house, right? I think whose house has the most accommodations for the family. I think we've tried to have some, Thanksgivings at our home. We tried it one year. And most of the time for me, I can't lie. I've always traveled, always had to go to a family member's house. Most of the time I don't have to go too far. We kind of have a standard kind of family gathering each year with my family, kind of know what to expect. My aunties love doing big spreads, cooking a bunch of food. I mean, food galore. And we have food. We
Hmm.
have the traditional American food. And for those who may not know, my family is from the diaspora. My mother's from Africa. So my family will mix in a little bit of African foods with the whole Thanksgiving tradition. So
Little bit.
I mean, a little bit, right? I mean, they go into every traditional dish that's like most sacred. They have things called bitter leaves. They have something called we have our what we have
Scotch
scotch
eggs,
eggs. I mean, you just name it. We just had
cassava leaves.
cassava leaves. We had bitter leaves. I might have said that one already. We had some
Now
crank.
it's spelled bitter,
Yes,
but
but we
it's
pronounce it bitter leaves.
bitter
Bitter
leaves.
leaves. Yes, for those who may know. So, like I said, for those out there,
Yes.
my African audience out there, y'all know what I'm saying.
And
And
we know who makes the best jollof
Jello, tell
rice.
Sarah Leone. See, Sarah Leone don't see. Let me explain something. Sarah Leone does not get enough run for when it comes to some of the best food, let alone some of the best jollof rice. Now, I know my Nigerians out there listening. We got a big Nigerian audience. I know you love our show. But again, I know the Ghanaians, y'all out there, y'all listening too. But the Liberians, I know you're listening too. But Sierra Leone is known to have some amazing cooks that make amazing food. So y'all don't sleep on Sierra Leone when it comes to the Jollof Wars because we definitely
Okay,
have something to say.
I
Sierra
love
Leone
it.
has something to say, like Andre 3000
Listen,
said.
let's have
Sierra Leone has something to say.
listen. If there is a competition, I will test the jollof rice. Just tell me where to come. I will test the jollof rice.
That's her. Yeah, she'll be the taste tester. But again, so family gatherings, Thanksgiving, just these moments just allow to give us a chance to decompress. And for me, it's amazing. Like I said, starting my resolutions today, December 1st, and really kind of planning for my new year. It just is a good time just to reflect and remind myself when we think about our FCC, our family, community, and company, what's most important. Like really relationships with our family, spending time with our family. It's been a rough year, y'all. If you listen or if you're, a continuous listener, we've had a kind of a rough year, lost some relatives this year. A lot of things were going on, but to have moments where you get to see family members you haven't seen in a long time just reminds you of how much love we still have out here. Like you may lose people and you may wish you spent more time, but there's still other people in your family that you can lean in on and really bring your love and your energy. So I encourage all of you out there, for all those out there that might have felt a little lonely during the Thanksgiving season, don't get upset. Don't get mad. No one's bragging or talking about family because sometimes it's not always easy being around family. But for those that are out there, just know your love. Be grateful, still be thankful for something that really kind of inspired you this week and really tell yourself, hey, going into my new year, I'm going to make new relationships. And that's where we're going to really start to pivot right now. We're going to get ready to talk about our main topic, which is as we reflect on 2025 and really just look back. on what this past 2024 was and just kind of figure out how we're going to level set, we want to focus on good relationships, y'all. Good relationships. Yeah. So, our topic of Sunday school today is good relationships. And as we're reflecting on Thanksgiving and just preparing our weeks and just really getting ourselves together, we have to make sure that we really prioritize having good relationships with our family, our communities, and our company. We really want to make sure that we're really prioritizing getting to know the people that are around us in healthy ways. Really, like even me as a father, as a family man, I'm learning that I have to now relearn my children because some of them are teenagers, off to college and, ready to graduate from high school. Then I have younger kids who were 1 minute toddlers and now they're grown and they have a bunch of new school age friends, and there's new things that I have to realize that in my building of relationships, I look at my business world and I'm always trying to build new contacts and new relationships there. But I have to really realize I have children that are growing all the time, learning new things. And I have to still kind of build, even me and Shemekka, when we look at our relationship, we have to make sure that we're always on the same page, in the same chapter, in the same book. Same page, same chapter, same book. And that's something that even one of my relatives, and as I reflect on my sister, that's something she used to say to me many years ago when I used to ask her and her husband how their relationship worked. And it's just really interesting just to think about in good relationships. That is the key. Same chapter, same page, same book. If you can manage that concept that you stick to the people that you're working with and who you're dealing with in your family, community, and company, you can start to foster good relationships that really open up doors and create opportunities. It creates situations where people look out for you during hard times. And I think we don't really talk about that. It's not even something we talk about in school. You don't go to school and they say, this is how you create good relationships. They just try to socialize you, tell you to line up, tell you to be respectful, but no one really teaches you good relationship skills. Like how important relationships are to carry you through life and really open up a ton of doors and opportunities for you. But what's your thoughts on relationships, Shemekka? Come on, give the world, get our audience some of your gems.
Mm. Um, I, I'm kind of stuck on this one because when I think about good relationships, that is a subjective opinion on what good is. Now, I was following you when you were like the same chapter, same book, same page. If you need a book to help with that, with good relationships, I'm gonna give a shameless plug to whileimgettingnaked.com. You can absolutely be on the same page in the same chapter in the same book,
And
and
we've
you can
done it.
write.
And we've done it before. Some Shemekka's written this phenomenal book while I'm getting naked. And I'm gonna be honest with you all. Like, yes, I'm a husband. I'm plugging. I'm gonna always say yes. She is a phenomenal writer. But we actually took time. This book is a workbook. Not only do you read it, but you actually there's prompts that you go through after you read a particular part of the book, and it allows you to reflect. So it's a reflection journal. And so we really dared to go through her book together as a couple. And we've encouraged other couples to do the exact same thing. That when you get this book, pick it up and really give yourself a chance to have guiding posts to really ask deep questions that you may have not originally asked. And I think that's the key to a relationship, right? It's
Mhm.
really getting naked, getting vulnerable, being able to tell people truths and create and establish trust within, the way you connect with somebody.
Absolutely. What stands out to me that I know personally from my own behaviors is um, I like to jump right into knowing whether or not we're going to be a good fit. When it comes to measuring or gauging good relationships. And being a Black woman in business, trying to build good relationships with other Black women in business, I can even identify and understand. There's layers to it. There's a whole dance and practice. And I won't minimize that to just Black women alone. I think anyone that you're doing business with, it is a courting journey. It is a getting to know you, getting very familiar and intimate, but it also means vulnerability and transparency. And any good relationship has to have those components in addition to communication. because you cannot have a good relationship if you cannot communicate effectively so that everyone feels safe to communicate and build relationship together. So those are some of the highlights that I think about when we put this in perspective from theory to practice, whether it's your family, your community, or you're trying to build relationships in your clientele, your company, building, scaling, growing. You have to not only have good relationships, you have to have good, authentic relationships. And with that authenticity includes vulnerability and transparency because I need to be able to trust you. And so often I have found um, I like to parallel it to this, and this is something to be mindful of. When people are afraid and they're fearful, distrusting, they will sabotage trying to work with you in the midst of it, sometimes even unknowingly. And so if you're in a position or posture to want to help or work with someone, you have to be ready, like a lifeguard would be on duty. You know, when you're trying to help someone that may not realize they're even drowning, or someone that is drowning that doesn't know how to swim, they can't recognize help when it comes. And so if you're not careful, the person that you're trying to save will drag you down, and you both could have the potential of drowning without you taking those special precautions. So as you're looking to build relationships, knowing that you gotta test the water, know who you're working with, and being authentic and vulnerable will help in building that, so that you get to know very intimately who you're working with, or the person you're working with. Are they really going to be a good fit for you? That's how good relationships are built, not on facades, but on authenticity, relating and communicating with one another.
I realize that with relationships, the hardest part I realize is that feeling of who's going to reach out first. That tends to
Yeah.
always be the constant thing I see where people struggle with relationship building. It doesn't matter. I think, sometimes we get into those deeper, intimate relationships where we want to date and court somebody. And then you have different relationships that are just kind of, you're hanging out, you're building a connection, you want to share meals with people. And then it's really like there's levels to relationships and boundaries to relationships, and there's so many levels. And I think that as we continue to kind of grow our mindset around good relationships, understand that they're key to so much of our health and our ability to have prosperity when we're able to cultivate good relationships. And even
Mhm.
with, when I think about my family, my children, that communication word is so key. But reciprocity, right? Sometimes when I do for you, yes, it's nice to feel like you may do back for me, but it's not in good relationships, it's not that I'm only doing because I expect to receive. I'm doing it because at some surface level or some greater level, hopefully, that you care about me, right? In a
Mhm.
relationship, there should be a level of care. One thing I teach my children is that you can't learn about what you don't care about. So in a good relationship, if you have a level of care about the individual that you're trying to build that relationship for. Like if I have a good buddy, right, I want them to care enough for me to have my back if something goes wrong or we're
Mhm.
out and about, or if you're trying to date and court someone. A woman doesn't want to see you yelling at somebody else and then come back to them and think you're going to talk to them disrespectfully. It brings up a concept I remember years ago. I always think about this statement I heard from Jill Scott. It was Jill Scott, and everybody would say Shemekka's her twin. Her and Shemekka look really similar to one another. But there was something that really caught my imagination many years ago that saved many relationships with me, particularly with women. As a man with women, that Jill Scott says a very simple concept. She said, "Women want respect, and men always miss the point." And I think one thing I realize in relationships, that respect, particularly men to women, sometimes we miss the boat, men on relationships, because we kind of have an air of disrespect already in our mind towards the women that we're either trying to approach, try to build with, when we really have to start having a greater, deeper level of respect. And I think when we deal like men to men, when men are trying to build a relationship with one another from a friendship standpoint and so forth, they're able to try to establish some kind of buddy respect and some level of getting over someone misspeaking or not saying things the way they want to. So men, we kind of say things callously sometimes, right? But sometimes with women, we don't give them that same respect. And if we can really start to realize, even in those dynamics, that everyone, men, women, we all want to be talked to with respect. And in good relationships, when you're building, whether with a woman to a man to a woman, or with the same sex that you're trying to build relationships with, just build relationships within respect. Respect one another. Respect the people you're communicating with. That's what leads to the trust. That's what leads to the caring. So, again, we can carry this all day. Relationships are so important. And we really want to make sure in this Sunday school that you got some kind of gems out of this. So please feel free, if you're on the live podcast network, definitely continue to subscribe, listen, comment, give us a thumbs up, love this episode if you can. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Please, we definitely need you all to like and subscribe, share tell people out here there's a way towards good relationships, and Sunday Stacks gave you some tools today.
Well,
So, right? And if you got any opinions on how to build good relationships, please definitely leave some comments. And be like, hey, Mike, hey, I don't care about no relationship. Relationships of, over social media has got us. I can make relationship with the AI and be happy. Hey, I get it. Come let us know that in the
yes.
please. And if you're a computer bot that wants to comment too, feel free to comment as well too. We definitely
Respond
will
and
respond.
enhance your AI capabilities too.
Yes, yes. So as we transition, we want to go ahead and transition to our favorite part of each episode. We want to call the Whiz of the Week. Yes, 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 yes. The Whiz of the Week. This week, our Whiz of the Week has a lot of great topics. Oh my goodness. Drake sues Universal. And we talk about Trump meets with Justin Trudeau of Canada, talking about tariffs. So it sounds like Canada has a lot of issues going on with Canadians for us Americans. Then you have Elon Musk and Donald Trump during a Thanksgiving dinner dancing to the YMCA. YMCA? Village People. And then we also have Walmart. Walmart making announcements on their future of DEI. It's in question. Yes, even the largest employer in the world is even questioning DEI. Is DEI going to be safe, y'all? We got a lot to work on here. So as we look at the Wizard of the Week, we want to unpack. Let's start with the Drake sues Universal Records. So Drake is suing his own record label. And this is the same record label that Kendrick Lamar too is associated with, and it's over the song "Not Like Us." And supposedly Drake is saying that Universal, in association with Spotify, artificially boosted Kendrick's song "Not Like Us," which then caused him to be defamed and cost him economic harm. You remember that song that goes, "They not like us. They not like we ain't sampling. This is let's make sure we're clear as I sing this song."
The
Yes,
song
yes.
known
We don't want no
as
copyright issues here. This is me. I know I sound so talented up here. But yeah, so I mean, this song has caused so much controversy, but yet also made Kendrick become a dominant artist over the last year, and even to the point where he has a Super Bowl invite. And I guess Mr. Drake may not be liking all these accolades that he's getting off of his expense, especially when he thought to himself that he was the biggest artist in the world.
it's like a Karen move, if you ask me. I mean, you either gonna be a lyricist or you either gonna battle rap or you gonna bow down and say you lost. And instead of Drake saying he lost, you pulling a Karen. But it's a Karen with strategy. Because if this is exposed, it's a great opportunity for other people to be mindful of what I call what Drake is doing is he pulled the curtain off of Universal
Mhm.
to see that it is a money grab. It is a game. They want to play artists against each other. They want the war to go on. And they were funding the war. Like, let's not play. If Drake and Kendrick were on the same label, they were funding the battle. They were funding the war, probably funding information too, to keep it perpetuating. So I'm glad that Drake Karen has come forward because now we're going to see what happens behind the Wiz curtain when now Universal has to be held accountable for what it's been doing, the deals it's been doing in the back, to see where it goes.
I talk about it now. Talk about deals. Now we're gonna keep to people from Canada giving the U.S. a hard time. No, I'm just playing. But we have Justin Trudeau sitting down with Donald Trump, and if you don't know, Justin Trudeau is the what they call it, Prime Minister of Canada. And so recently, with the new Trump administration gearing up, President-elect Trump has been making threats to Canada, Mexico, and so many other nations. Of course, China, everyone knows of a thing called tariffs. And for those who don't know, understand what tariffs are the U.S.'s one means of federally, whenever trade goods come into it from another country, they can impose certain prices on those goods. So Trump has been scaring all these different, some people call them allies, with the thought that they may have to pay additional tariffs for the opportunity to bring goods into the US. And so they've been working so hard behind closed doors to negotiate and find ways to please old President Trump because, Trump is kind of,
He's the
put
president elect.
the president elect, but he's moving like he's already the president. Many conversations he's having, of course, he's been having these. I was mentioning earlier about that Thanksgiving dinner he had, where he had special guests. He had his wife Melania on one side, not next to him, his son Barron, and then him, and then Elon Musk on his other side. So it's like, I mean, Elon Musk and Trump are like, best friends now. They call him the first friend. They would say the first the first family or something. Elon Musk is now the first friend. I guess they're working on Space Force activities to get us to Mars or something. I mean, it's big thoughts, big thoughts. Trump, huge, huge thoughts. But yeah, I mean, it's just interesting. I guess instead of listening to the YMCA, they should have got the note. They should have got the DEI note and listened to "They Not Like Us." They not like. Because imagine Trump and Elon sitting there listening. They not like us. They not, and then playing it to Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, he'd have got that. He'd have got that cease and desist
Right?
letter.
Real quick, right?
Trump got a whole bunch of them this past season.
Right. So, but definitely, we definitely love, the fun and just we here at Sunday Stacks, we like to poke fun at the things that grab all of your attention. Every week, there's always headlines that always have all of us up in a roar. We'll make the memes. We'll have all the different comments. And then guess what? A week or two later, there's a new thing going on that we forget
Hmm.
everything that's happened. So these Wizards of Week is just to remind you, stay focused on your family, your community, and your company. These headlines will go and come, but what your family and your community and building a company can do could last forever. So we just always like to give you these friendly reminders here at Sunday Stacks. And as always, we appreciate you all tuning in. We don't want anyone to attack DEI. Why? Because we like having a job. No, I'm just playing. But we really believe that diversity, being able to have people in spaces that allow for all of our cultures, all of our abilities, all of our aptitudes to be respected. And that's why Sunday Stacks always is brought to you by I Am Brilliant. I Am Brilliant is our organization that's all about the people, really making sure that everyone is accounted for and all of us realize that we have something brilliant within all of us. And we want you all to remember that. So at any point that you need speakers, or anyone to remind you of your brilliance, definitely holler at this I Am Brilliant crew at iambrilliant.org. Me and Shemekka are here to continue to serve and really build. And as always, we bring you the Sunday Stacks podcast to just remind you week for week your life should be stacking up and nothing else. You deserve the best. And that's why we're here to
Hmm.
give you that here at Sunday Stack. Shemekka, you want to do some quick house cleaning or anything just to let the people know ways they can connect and ways they, things to look out for this week?
Well, absolutely. I just want to drop this plug with what you lifted up with Walmart and their plans to create some erasure around DEI initiatives. I want to let you know that starting mid January, we're going to be relaunching the DEI program, director and leaders peer group. So we are here to support those that are leading this work that may be feeling the crunch and the stretch of people suddenly feeling like you're not necessary and that your position and posture and the advocacy that you're holding around equity in your organization, we're going to be rolling back out. So 2025, we're going to be starting another peer support group. So we got you. We'll get through this. Whatever Walmart does, whatever your quote unquote company is that maybe reconsidering, your position or trying to minimize the hard work that you've done. Come join the peer group. Let's get connected. Now, if you have not already tapped into the Live Podcast Network, make sure you download the app and subscribe to Sunday Stacks. Your support means the most to us and will help us be able to grow our capacity and continue to share this message of centering family, community, and company. So make sure check us out on sundaystacks.com, Sunday Stacks on YouTube, Sunday Stacks Podcast on Instagram, and definitely make sure you connect and subscribe to Alive Podcast Network Sunday Stacks.
I love it, y'all. We love it. We always love to bring you these headlines. We love to bring you these topics. I hope you enjoyed the Sunday school topic as we did. Remember, good relationships are important, and we want a good relationship with you all out there. So again, if
Yeah.
you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. We definitely need the support to continue to grow. Please share this. Tell a friend to tell a friend that you heard something original. You heard something brand new, and that's that Sunday Stacks podcast. So as always, we love to let you all know. I
I
am
am
brilliant
brilliant,
and
and
you
you
are
are
too.
too.
Thank you again for joining us with this episode of Sunday Stacks, and we will see you next week. Peace.